This is crazy. This time last year, WWE fans were saying that Bron Breakker was a future top guy and was going to dethrone Roman. Now he's getting booed and Bron Breakker sucks chance. What's going on here, Puddy? Why are the fans turning on Bron Breakker?
Look what happened with Roman Reigns. Oh man, Roman Reigns is the best. He's going to be the next big thing. He's going to be the next. He's going to be the breakout star of the Shield. He's the breakout star of the Shield, and then he gets booed.
Fans weren't necessarily saying that. That was getting pushed in their face. That was more management saying that than anything. And we saw it. We saw what Vince was trying to do with Roman Reigns. We didn't want it at the time. That's
I feel
the
during the Shield we wanted it.
No. Why do you think they didn't embrace him right away during a singles run? They didn't want it. They want Daniel Bryan.
I feel differently about that. I feel like they did.
Yeah, because Vince McMahon could force anything down your mouth and you'll take it, asking for more. But anyway,
anything. Now hearing the report was that whoever loses the Bron Breakker Carmelo Hayes match is going to the main roster.
I think something like that. Yeah.
All right. So I'm not sure who loses or who wins. I guess who loses makes more sense. I don't know, man. It's just the same thing they did with John Cena. Dude, John Cena is awesome. I love John Cena when he came to Raw, the rap gimmick, and then all of a sudden he turned the John Cena that we all know, and crowds start turning on him. It's the same thing, man. People just they give you what you want, and then
we talked about this about Bron Breakker earlier before, though, right? When we first started coming on the scene, there was a lot of potential for Bron Breakker, and we see what WWE is trying to make of this guy, what the hopes of him would be. But we said, like, we got to be careful with this. You got to do the long play with this. He's very green. Maybe he's just not catching on the way anymore. Because part of the problem is you make anyone to a Superman character that's unbeatable, they're going to turn on you eventually. Same as John Cena. Look at Charlotte Flair. Look at insert person here, Roman Reigns. It's happened time and time again. I think Bron Breakker is getting that same type of treatment, and he's still too green. I don't think he's catching on with the fans. I'm actually worried if he goes to the main roster, he's going to get buried alive up there. And hence why I think talking about earlier before, like, I don't view him as a face of NXT. Do you?
Probably, yeah. Who else?
Probably de facto at this point, but like when Mandy Rose is on there, Mandy Rose is more of a face than he was.
Oh yeah, I've been saying
of NXT.
I said that, yeah. But she's not there anymore. Who else? It's Bron Breakker, yes.
But that's the problem. That's the problem right there.
Roxanne Perez, the next one. Yeah.
But the problem is they wanted Bron Breakker to be the face of NXT, and he wasn't. He couldn't do it.
So you put him to the main event roster where they always wanted him to be?
No, you give him a monster villain in Grayson Waller. You give him a monster rivalry. You give him someone.
They just did.
They just did. But I'm talking about, like, I feel like Grayson Waller to get that at next level, to being Shawn Michaels, to get to that top spot, and then beating Bron Breakker for that championship, and then having Bron Breakker fight for that opportunity back. To reverse the roles, if you will.
I'm enjoying Bron Breakker. I wasn't a big fan of his at the beginning, but he's won me over. However, I think his time in NXT is done. It's all about Carmelo Hayes, man. Carmelo Hayes is the hottest thing right now in NXT.
I agree with that. Yeah.
The crowd's even turning in favor of him because he's just so that damn good. So then in the ring. So I think this might be passing of the torch because it's both like a year now. Pass the torch to Carmelo Hayes. Everyone's been wanting it for years. A year, I should say. So let's do it. Carmelo Hayes is where it's at, man.
And I agree with that. But then the problem runs into then if Bron Breakker goes to the main roster, he's not going to excel there. Then Bron Breakker is just another person that failed out of NXT. That's what it's going to be with him. But moving on here, Puddy.
Depends on how they handle him. Because you're thinking that
I'm sorry, if he's failing in NXT right now, if the fans are turning right,
he's a champ. He's not failing.
He's failing in the fans' eyes. That's what counts the most, Puddy.
No, they're just turning on him. Doesn't mean they're failing. He's doing a great fucking job. He's doing his job.
No, his job is to be the face of the company, to be the face of that franchise right there, of NXT. And he's not doing that. That's his job. No. Anyone could be champion. Jinder Mahal was champion at what point? Was he doing his job being the face of the company? No, he was not.
He did a damn good job as champion.
Oh, stop your nonsense right now.
What that did for their India product, what they were doing at the time, trying to launch NXT India, trying to launch their product over India, that was a huge asset to them, and it worked. He was a superstar in India, still is.